Hello. I'm in public, so I'm very nervous to be doing this, but I'm trying to push past that fear and do the things that I want to do with my life, and get over my fear of being seen. So here we are. I've said for a long time that I want to use my experiences to be insightful for other people and to share the lessons that I've learned along the way. I haven't completely delved into that. I feel like, I've done years of journaling and a little bit of video documentation, but I feel like all of that has just kind of been prep work for the real deal here. I am in a position right now where I can be doing that, and I have kind of been tiptoeing around it, kind of making excuses as to why I shouldn't, but the time's here, the time is now, and if I don't do it now, then I'll never do it. So, here I am. Hello, it's nice to meet you. My name is Leslie. I'm doing a solo trip right now. Actually, I'm in Montana, going to Glacier National Park. I think I'm gonna end up going to Colorado as well, just because I live in Indiana, so the whole ride here has been cities or extremely boring roads. So now that I'm where I want to be, I'm kind of ready to be here for a while. So that's where I'm at. I've been doing this for a little bit over a week now. 2 weeks now, and still haven't really started the plan, so here we are. A couple of nights ago I was looking for inspiration, and I went back through some videos that I made a long time ago. I found the one that was the catalyst for the beginning of the solo trip I took about 2 years ago now. And it was trying to convince myself to do it, because I was scared to. It was unlike anything that I had ever done before. Like most people, I grew up in a home, and what was implanted into my brain was to go to college so you can get a 9-to-5 so that you can support yourself and, be happy, quote unquote. Marriage was also a big influence in my life. Like, I definitely thought that I had to get married young. I did. And yeah, I followed the life that was laid out for me, the life that I thought I was supposed to live for most of my life. So then, when it came time to do something that was out of the ordinary, I truly had to convince myself to do it. It was weeks and months of should I, shouldn't I, making excuses as to why I shouldn't, coming up with solutions in my general life as to what I should do instead. So going back to college, I considered for a long time. This was last year, 2024. I literally applied to college, got accepted. I was about to enroll. There was just something in me. It was like, girl, this is not what you want. And it was, again, falling into old habits of this is what I'm supposed to do instead of following my heart. So anyway, I think I started to say, I was looking at this video of me having to convince myself into tears, trying to tell myself that this is okay, that it's okay to do something that's not normal, even if it was literally just taking a 3-week trip to Colorado. That seemed like the end of the world to me. That seemed like the end of my life, because I'd never seen anybody do it. It wasn't normal. And it was at the time that my lease was ending my lease without having another one lined up. Truly felt like the end of the world. So that video reignited a spark when I watched it a couple of days ago. This was something that I was so passionate about, yet I couldn't easily act upon it. And honestly, taking that trip really did open up my eyes to the life that I want to live. And that's what I'm doing now, 2 years later. A little bit less than 2 years later, I am on another one of those solo trips. I'm at the point now where I'm ready to kind of share my story, and I guess the challenges that I've had to go through to get to where I am. I'm still, right now, pushing myself out of my comfort zone, definitely, but I'm doing it while pursuing a dream that I've had for a long time. That's another thing, is I like looking back at that specific video, because it's inspirational for me to see, because that girl was so scared. She was so scared, but she freaking did it anyway. And I had so much fun on that trip, dude. And I just feel like I have it for a reason and that it's supposed to be shared. I don't know, we'll see if I put it in here. This is the only life that I'm gonna get. Do I want to live it based on the standards that society thinks life is supposed to be lived? Or do I want to take my one chance at life and do something? I don't like living the way that I am right now. I don't like... And I know I should be appreciative because I have my health and I have a job and I have a roof over my head and, you know, I pay my bills on time. But in the grand scheme of things, I don't like living like this. I have 2 jobs. I don't like either of them. There's just so much on my mind right now and I don't know what I'm supposed to do. What do I want to do is the question. What do I want to do? What do I want to do? I want to hop in my car and travel and see some shit and work on healing and connecting to myself, because what I'm doing now is so not fulfilling. And my original plan was to go back to school, start a career that was going to be fulfilling for me, but I can't start until July. It's the end of October. My lease ends next week. So I have all that time that I could be exploring. It's scary because I'm still gonna have bills. Like, I'm not looking for a extravagant type of lifestyle. I'm probably gonna be living in my car. But at least I could see things and do things and experience the world and nature. I really just want to connect with nature. I want to go to places that I've never been before, meditate, and just heal myself. I feel like that is what is waiting for me. But it just doesn't seem practical. So I stop myself from it. People are gonna think that I went crazy, but I know I need to let go of what people think of me. That's my biggest, literally my biggest issue is how much I fucking care about what people think of me. They're gonna think I'm crazy. And if I do this and I come back, like, is that gonna be what I'm known for? Like, she had a psychotic break and went and... Who cares, though, right? I really don't know what I'm... And I feel like life is putting me in this position to give me a choice. Life's all about the choices that you make and the chances you take. And this is my only life, as far as we know. If I don't... See, my whole thing is what if there's something greater out there? What if I'm just waiting to find my spirituality and connect with whatever else might be out there, because that's what I feel like is pulling me towards that. And then just staying here and living life out the way I have been for years. Yes, I could make progress, and yes, I could learn to get out of my head and stop caring what people think. But I've been trying to do that, and I don't quite know how. And I also don't really know what kind of things I would be able to work on if I did choose to not extend my lease and start living in my car. My whole thinking is, even if I did it for a month and I came back, at least I could still say I did it. I want to do something exciting with my life at least one time, because what if I don't ever get this opportunity again? And I feel like it's just presenting itself right now, but it's scary. But I've been in my head about it for the past several days, and I was like fucking up at work so much because my head just was not there. Yeah, man. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't matter what people think about me. It doesn't matter what people think about me. Leslie Lettington, it does not matter what people think about you. Okay? I love you. And I just want you to be happy. Even if it's temporary, I think you deserve to take some time for yourself. And it doesn't matter what people think. It doesn't matter what you're gonna have to tell them when you go or come back or while you're gone. Because what if you don't get a chance like this again? What if this is what you've been waiting for? I love you. I asked for a sign, and I think this is my sign. I really think that this is my sign. I've been looking for external sources, but just asking myself what I want. Like, I think I know this is what I want. I need to spend more mirror time with me. Because I'm in my head so much, I'm like totally disconnected from myself. Yeah, man. Because if this is my one opportunity and I pass it up, I'm going to regret it years from now. Or months from now. Because here's the thing, I can still go to school in July. I can still start school in July. It's not like I'm giving up all those dreams. I'm just taking a detour, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. There's nothing wrong with that. Leslie, there's nothing wrong with that. Now, regardless of anything else, any other ideas that I have, or like want to do while I'm doing this, the main reason I am doing this is to get connected to myself. Because I've lost so many years to trauma, to relationships, and I need to work on the relationship with myself. And if I don't do this for myself, I'm staying in an unhappy situation for other people because I care what they think about me, or because I don't want to be seen a certain way. But who fucking cares? Stop caring so much. It does not matter. It doesn't matter what people think about me. It doesn't matter what people think about you. Yeah. I mean, I have to. I literally have to. I'm not giving up on anybody by doing this. I am prioritizing myself. Because what I've been doing so far has got me nowhere. And that's that. My goal here is to use my experiences to inspire other people and to encourage other people to take the leap. Because when all you hear is the way that you're supposed to do things, that's kind of what your mindset and what your ideas are shaped around. So that's what you do. At least that's how it was for me. I wasn't really even thinking for myself. I was thinking for everything else but myself, like for what people would think of me, for what how I can be a contributing member of society, how I can be worth something, and how I can be worthy. Like if I was being selfish and I was doing something for me, I didn't feel like that was acceptable. Like I've never made decisions with my best interest in mind. It's always been help other people first, and then I'll be okay. That's not how I want my life to look like. Because I'm 26 and I've already burned out a number of times. And I don't want to continue that cycle of constantly burning out. What I'm doing right now is something I'm really passionate about, and I'm not used to doing that. So I hope that I can inspire other people. In addition to the video that I watched from a couple years back, I also went through my journals. I brought them with me because that was my intent, was to go through them and tell my stories. So I went through the first journal that I ever started writing in from 2021. August 23rd, 2021 is when I made my first entry. And this was the time when I was married, and even on the first page, I was looking at ways that I could get out of the situation that I was in. So like a lot of future planning. I was thinking, oh, and even on the first page, not the first page, but the first few, I was talking about van life and wanting to get a van and how can I support myself when I have a van. So on the first page, the very first page, I was like, oh, I could get an Airbnb and then I'll have a passive income and yada yada yada. How are you gonna pay for an Airbnb, girl, when you can't even pay for your monthly bills? So crazy. But that's where I was at. I was like, I just needed anything to look forward to for life to be worth living, man. It's always been something to look forward to, and then I'll be happy. It's always like, once I do this, then I'll be happy. Or once I achieve this thing, then I'll be happy. And I think that's a lot of also why I kept convincing myself that I wanted to go back to college, was just so that, you know, if I do this work here, and once I get my degree, then I'll be happy, and then I'll be able to afford to pay my bills, and then yada 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 yada. It's just, I don't want to wait to enjoy my life. I want to like it now, because the way that I was doing that, I was never actually happy in the moment, and that led me to extreme mental issues that, like, I don't want to keep making myself susceptible to. Like, even if my life doesn't look ideal from the outside, at least I'm doing something that actually makes me happy. So yeah, at this time I was married, planning things with him, like he and I will get an Airbnb to make passive income so that we can live in a van together and travel, and then that would make us happy. This was August, the first time I ever wrote in here, and the first time I ever considered that being married wasn't something that I wanted to do was January of the next year. It was only 5 months later. It was first like, oh, he makes me so happy, oh, I'm so happy I have him. It was like everything external was awful, but oh, I had him, you know. Just somewhere along the line, I realized I was never going to be able to make a decision. And let me also say, I got married at 21, which was extremely young, and I knew him for 1 whole year before we got married. So somewhere along the way, I realized I was never going to be able to live my life ever because I was married and make decisions for myself without first having to consult my husband. That in order for me to do anything, it had to be filtered through somebody first. So at that point, I would never have control over my life. And as a 21-year-old woman, that is something you need, like all of us need. We didn't have a relationship where we had our own independence. It was like, we are us. We're married. We're in this together. We're doing life together. Amen. At a certain point, I realized that yes, I wasn't happy with all of the external things that I was going through, but also I literally had all my happiness on this one person. I was only getting any kind of happiness from that person, which is extremely unhealthy, but also then when things go bad, it's like the world is ending because my person and I are struggling. So now I'm struggling. So now, like, it was just, my happiness should never be tied up into another person. Around January, I wrote into my journal that an experience happened that made me question. I did a lot of back and forth of, I don't want to be married, but I don't want to leave him because he's such a good person, and he really did bring me happiness, which is why it did make it harder to leave. It would have been easy to, if he was a bad guy, I could have just been like, well, F you, I'm out of here. But he was a good person. So I was doing a lot of flip-flopping. Like one day it was, I don't want to be married, I don't want to have to tell him that. So then it would be that he and I talked, and now things are all better, and oh my gosh, I love him so much. And then, you know, it would be a little bit amount of time later, and then it was, I don't think I want to be married. And then I would go to him and talk to him, and then we would smooth it over, we'd be good. And then it was a lot of feeling one way, but convincing myself another way, until eventually it just, I couldn't keep playing those mind games with myself, and I had to end it. And I think the biggest thing there was that, yes, things were generally good with this person, but I was suffering because it was never my role in my life. And even before the marriage, I had a long-term relationship. So for my whole adult life, I've never made my own decisions. And it was around the time of being married and recognizing that I was never going to get to make my own decisions that really brought me to, okay, this is a decision that I have to make for my best interest. Because if I don't do it now, when will I, right? I have pretty much been single since then. I had a relationship which I actually write about toward the end of this. It was something to get into later. I also just wanted to add this in because I forgot to mention it when I was making the video. It wasn't until after I got divorced that I actually had the capacity to analyze my family dynamics and my family relationships and figure out what made me me and why I operate the way that I do. One of the biggest things, and I mentioned this a little bit, my biggest thing growing up was like get married, have kids. I was following my mom's path because my mom and I were really, really close to each other. So in my head it was like get married, have kids, that's what life is. And it wasn't until after I got divorced that I was able to analyze that that isn't how things should be. Actually, we should develop who we are as a person, for me anyway, before we try to bring somebody else into our lives. And I do believe that it can work differently for other people, but it didn't work for me because I didn't have my own identity of self before I got married. Which is the only reason, like, that marriage would have absolutely never worked, and I had to get out of it. No matter how much I wanted to make it work, I would have never been able to. Also, marriage kind of was a distraction for me. Not only did I think that I was supposed to do it, but like, I always had my other partner to look out for before I would look out for myself. I was never focused on personal growth. Like, I wanted to be a good person, of course, so I did everything that I could to do that, but I was not doing it in the healthiest ways. I truly don't think I would have ever been able to do any of that. I don't think I would have ever been able to analyze my family dynamics. I don't think I would have been able to recognize the role that I was playing because I was actively playing that role. It wasn't until I got out of it that I was able to recognize that it was even a role to begin with. Okay, so yeah. But since then, I've pretty much been single. Yeah, I've been making my own decisions since then, and I've been living my own life since then, and it hasn't always looked pretty, it hasn't always been perfect, and I haven't always had that person to like fall back on whenever things do go south, but I'm doing the things I want to do. I'm making my decisions. I've recognized since that I'm just somebody that has to have control over my life and what I'm doing. It's the same with my jobs. I don't like people telling me what to do. So I do DoorDash, but that's also so I can travel, and that's what I'm doing now. And that is bringing me a lot of joy because I have control over my life. This connection with myself has been stronger, and I have come to learn that there's no better relationship than the one you can have with yourself. I definitely wasn't in a position then to see that because I had no experience with it, so I could have never recognized that. Like, somebody could have told me, oh, there's no better relationship than the one you have with yourself. But until I experienced it, I would have never put validity or worth or any weight onto that. All I had at that time was just the feelings that I was feeling and recognizing that I didn't have, like, control over my life, and that I was just living it that way because I thought that I was supposed to. And that's kind of what I've been working on since, is strengthening the connection with myself. And that's also why I am making this video in the middle of a park, to get past my fear of being seen or just being looked at as strange or anything other than just a normie regular girl. So I'm challenging myself in a lot of ways right now, and I think that that is something that I would like to share with people, and to, if it comes from it, I hope to inspire other people, and I just hope that by sharing what I'm doing with my life, that it ignites something in other people to take control over theirs. Because this life is too beautiful to just like let it go to waste. I probably wouldn't have done this video today, but yesterday, in the past few days, I've been telling myself that I was gonna do the video, and then I didn't. And then yesterday, I hit a bird with my car. and I looked at it in the mirror, in the rearview mirror, and watched it flapping around on the ground, never to fly again. And it made me realize that life is too precious to let it pass you by. So I am doing this, and I feel uncomfortable because now people really are staring at me. I literally just got somebody staring at me. That was great. Awesome, and I love it. I wish they would mind their business. Okay, I will not let that bird's death go to waste. I will not hide because I'm afraid of what people think, because that bird never gets to fly again. And I am the one that killed it. So, yeah, I just took away a precious, precious, precious freaking life. That bird can never do any harm. And I killed it. So, fuck if I'm afraid of what people are gonna think about me. I can't limit my life because of fear of something else. You know, that bird was just chilling. It was just vibing and it was just flying. And then now it's dead. And then what? I'm just gonna not live my life because I'm scared? No, it don't work like that. Nope, mine worked until yesterday. Maybe if I didn't kill that bird, you wouldn't be seeing this video, but... So, honestly though, fucking gold star for me. I'm so serious. I'm so serious. Okay, actually, you know, I kind of want to do something. I would like to do a single tarot card at the end of this video. Just for funsies, okay? Let's do one card. And then we'll get out of here. And I just like cards. It doesn't have to mean anything to you, but, they do to me. And I've been watching, oop, hello. All right, baby, okay. Our one card of the day, let's see. It's the freaking 10 of Wands. The 10 of Wands. Oh, shoot. This is about the bird. The 10 is a sign of burden and responsibility. Being depended on is a good thing, but beware of being overworked. Okay. Being depended on is a good thing, but beware of being overworked. Burden and responsibility. Okay, I would finish this and get more into depth with that, but I gotta pee so bad and I can't hold it anymore. Okay, so thank you so much for watching this, and I hope I see you again. Goodbye.